As the clock struck midnight, I found myself alone in the eerie silence of the office. A heavy workload had kept me at my desk late into the night, and now the office felt like a labyrinth of shadows. The dim, flickering lights cast eerie shapes on the walls, and the distant hum of the air conditioner added to the unsettling atmosphere. As I tried to focus on my work, an inexplicable feeling of being watched sent shivers down my spine. My heart pounded loudly in my chest, and I could swear I heard faint whispers echoing through the empty corridors. Brushing off the unease, I dismissed it as mere imagination, playing tricks on my tired mind. But as I continued to toil away, the strange occurrences multiplied. Objects on my desk inexplicably moved, and the sound of footsteps echoed through the hallways, despite me being the only one in the office. The printer began spewing out blank pages, and the computers flickered on and off without any logical explanation. Feeling a growing sense of dread, I decided to investigate. I ventured into the dimly lit halls, clutching my pen like a talisman. The air felt colder as I walked deeper into the maze of cubicles, and the darkness seemed to thicken around me. Suddenly, I caught a glimpse of a shadow darting around the corner. My heart skipped a beat as I called out, "Hello, is anyone there?" The only response was a chilling gust of wind that seemed to whisper my name. As I turned to retreat back to my desk, the office layout seemed to shift before my eyes. Walls appeared where there were none before, and the once familiar space became a nightmarish maze. Panic began to grip me as I realized I was trapped, lost in the office that was no longer the place I knew. Desperation urged me to find a way out, but each path led me deeper into the darkness. Strange symbols appeared on the walls, glowing faintly as if guiding me. I followed their eerie luminescence, hoping they might lead me to safety. At every turn, a glimpse of a ghostly figure vanished just before I could make sense of what I saw. The air grew heavier, laden with an otherworldly presence that sent chills through my body. I tried to call for help, but my voice seemed to fade into nothingness, swallowed by the haunting silence. As I ventured further, I stumbled upon a hidden room that I'd never seen before. In the center of the room stood an old wooden desk, covered in ancient parchments, and a peculiar-looking amulet. My hands trembled as I reached for the amulet, and a sudden rush of memories flooded my mind. The office was built upon an ancient burial ground where dark rituals were once performed. The amulet was a key to unlocking the barrier between the living and the dead, and its presence had awakened the malevolent spirits that haunted the place. Realizing that I had unknowingly unleashed the spirits, terror consumed me. They were drawn to my fear, feeding off it and gaining strength. I had to break the cycle, break free from their clutches. With newfound determination, I chanted an incantation I found on the parchments, hoping to undo the damage. As the words left my lips, the office trembled, and a ghostly wind swirled around me. The spirits let out anguished wails as they were forced back into their slumber. The amulet shattered, and the office returned to its usual state. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, and the strange symbols vanished from the walls. The haunting whispers were replaced by the familiar hum of the air conditioner. Exhausted but relieved, I made my way back to my desk. From that night on, I never stayed in the office past working hours. The memory of that night still lingers, a chilling reminder that some things are best left undisturbed, and that darkness can hide within even the most mundane places. I work in a quiet, unassuming office building that bustles with activity during the day. However, when the sun sets, a chilling atmosphere descends upon the place. Most employees avoid working late into the night, but There are times when deadlines demand it, and I often find myself alone, surrounded by a sea of empty cubicles. One particular evening, I stayed late to finish an important project. As the clock struck midnight, the office took on an eerie silence. The gentle hum of the air conditioner seemed to be the only sound, echoing through the dimly lit corridors. Unease settled in my stomach, but I shook it off as my imagination running wild. Still, I couldn't help but feel as though I was being watched. I focused on my work, trying to ignore the strange sensations creeping up my spine. Suddenly, the lights flickered, casting ominous shadows on the walls. My heart skipped a beat, and my eyes darted around the office, searching for any signs of movement. That's when I noticed a figure standing at the far end of the room, shrouded in darkness. My breath caught in my throat as I squinted, trying to make out who or what it was. Fear paralyzed me, but I couldn't tear my eyes away. The figure seemed to shift, gliding effortlessly from one cubicle to another. Summoning my courage, I called out, "Hello, is anyone there?" No response. The figure continued its silent dance, moving closer with each passing moment. I mustered all the bravery I could and stood up, preparing to confront whatever it was. As I approached, the figure vanished into thin air, leaving me in a state of disbelief. Was I losing my mind? Shaking, I returned to my desk, hoping it was just a trick of the tired mind. But then, the printer on the other side of the room suddenly sprang to life, spewing out pages without anyone near it. Panic consumed me as I rushed to unplug the machine. As I turned to leave, a cold breeze enveloped me, even though the office's windows were all tightly shut. A whisper echoed through the halls, sending shivers down my spine. Stay. The hairs on the back of my neck stood on end, and I couldn't escape the feeling that I was no longer alone. I could feel unseen eyes watching me, and the oppressive darkness seemed to grow thicker. Trying to maintain my composure, I stumbled back to my desk and gathered my belongings, determined to leave this terrifying place. But just as I reached the exit, the lights went out completely, plunging me into pitch black darkness. My heart raced as I fumbled for my phone, using its flashlight to guide me. But as I illuminated the room, I wished I hadn't. The walls were adorned with disturbing drawings and messages written in what appeared to be blood. The office I thought I knew during the day was a chilling canvas of horror at night. I forced myself to run towards the elevator, praying it would work. Miraculously, the doors opened and I stepped inside, slamming the button for the ground floor. The elevator began its descent, but then it stopped abruptly between floors. Trapped, I felt an overwhelming presence behind me. Slowly, I turned around, only to come face to face with the eerie figure once again. Its hollow eyes stared into my soul, freezing me in terror. Before I could react, the figure lunged at me, and the world went black. When I regained consciousness, I found myself back at my desk, as if nothing had happened. Was it all a nightmare? Or did I experience something otherworldly? I may never know the truth, but one thing is certain. I'll never stay late at the office again.